Hello, I'd like to show you some examples of visual puzzles and grid drawings. Alright class, so I'm going to give you some examples right here. Right before me you'll see that there's a grid with dots. And what you do is you copy the image on the left hand side onto the blank image on the right. So you're basically saying if you can copy exactly the drawing or the pattern on the left. So it's set up like a grid, so it makes it relatively simple to follow along. This is a good exercise for drawing what you see carefully and precisely. Draw any idea in your head. Doodling is a very good exercise for the brain. And just below that, you can see I've also included, can you copy the picture? There's a grid, and then on the left-hand side, there's a grid with a small picture. Right here, I'm trying to copy this image of an ice cream sundae. These can get kind of tricky. Sometimes it's a good idea to sketch it out very, very lightly and see where the lines are in each little cube before you layer down with a dark line. I kind of do this one relatively quickly, so I'm not particularly happy with it. I might go back into it later, but it's a really good training for your brain on drawing what you see. Alright, these three images on the left is relatively similar to the drawings on the right in the grid, but we have a full grid, and you're going to basically copy the image on the left hand side. I'm sorry, from the left hand side to the right hand side, and it's relatively simple because you have the grid within and you can kind of figure out where those pinpointed dots are. I often look at the picture, study the picture, and start drawing dots so I can create my diagonal lines if I need to. And that's a really a good technique to get through these relatively more complicated images. The puzzles on the left-hand side here are called reflective symmetry. Now you want to reflect each of these shapes in the dotted lines and they show us the first example. And you can see I added a little image of a goat up at the top. And it can show you that at the fold line, at the symmetrical symmetry line here, if you folded it, it would be exactly the same within a reflection, as if there's a mirror. So you're going to work on each of these puzzles, drawing them out as if there was a mirror next to that dotted line to create the symmetry. These are a little more complicated because you're not drawing exactly what you see, you're flipping it into a reflective drawing. So I think you'll enjoy these. They're a little more complicated, but with the grid with inside this image, it makes it a little bit easier once you have that grid. And up here on the upper right hand side, you're basically just filling in the spaces that are dark compared to light and recreating the image on the left hand side. These are pretty simple and I think you'll enjoy them. Of course, these sheets have lots of different mazes to get through. Some are extremely complicated. All right, boys and girls, enjoy yourselves. Thank you.